Bienvenue. Welcome to Old Quebec, a city of cobblestone streets, stone facades, and living history. We're beginning our walking journey right at the cruise ship terminal, where many visitors first set foot in this unforgettable place. As you step off the ship, the air feels different, a little cooler, a little older, and within moments you're surrounded by centuries of French-Canadian charm. From here, we'll stroll through the heart of Lower Town, pass through Place Royale, and gently climb to the iconic Fairmont Le Château Frontenac in Upper Town. Take your time, and let's walk into history together. As we leave the port behind and walk along Rue de Lausy, notice the tall stone buildings. These once housed warehouses and customs offices during Quebec's bustling fur and timber trade era. Already you can sense it. This city isn't just beautiful, it's alive with stories. Steps further brings us into Place Royale, the birthplace of Quebec. This cobbled square is where Samuel de Champlain founded the city in 1608. Standing at the center is Notre Dame de Victoires, the oldest stone church in North America, built on the foundations of Champlain's original settlement. Look around, the buildings surrounding the square have been restored to reflect life in the 17th and 18th centuries, from the pitched roofs to the iron window grills and weathered stone. Place Royale is more than historic, it's picturesque, warm, and welcoming. Take a moment here to breathe it in. We have now reached La Fresque des Québécois. It is more than a mural. It's an open-air history book, painted across the side of a building. This stunning three-story artwork brings over 400 years of Quebec's history to life. From founder Samuel de Champlain to poets, pioneers, and everyday citizens, each figure tells a part of the city's story. Painted in trompe-l'oeil style, a technique that tricks the eye, the windows, balconies, and staircases appear three-dimensional. The more you look, the more details you'll discover, changing seasons, real and fictional characters, even a hidden cat. It's not just beautiful, it's alive with meaning, a reminder that Quebec City isn't frozen in time, but shaped by the people who live, lead, and love it. So as you pass by, pause for a moment and let the walls speak. Quartier Petit-Champlain, arguably the most enchanting pedestrian street in Quebec City. Here, every step brings new textures. Worn cobblestones underfoot, wooden shutters overhead, flower boxes in bloom. Boutique shops, art galleries, and cozy cafes line the street. You might hear a street violinist or smell fresh pastries from a nearby bakery. This area is especially magical in winter, but no matter the season, it's easy to feel like you've stepped into a European fairy tale. Ahead are the famous breakneck stairs, or escalier cassicou, the oldest staircase in Quebec City, built in the 17th century. They've earned their name for a reason. They're steep, but if you're up for the climb, you'll be rewarded with one of the best views in the lower town, looking back down over Petit-Champlain. Take your time, or if you prefer, you can ride the funiculaire to the top. It's a short, smooth elevator ride with glass walls for the view. Either way, we're heading upward, toward Upper Town and the magnificent Château Frontenac. If you choose the funicular, enjoy the ride. It takes just over a minute to lift you from Petit-Champlain to the Upper Town. It's been operating here since 1879, connecting the two historic districts with ease. As you ascend, look out the windows, the rooftops of Lower Town, the glistening river, and distant hills all unfold below. At the top, you'll step out onto Dufferin Terrace, one of the most iconic viewpoints in all of Canada. Transforms Old Quebec into a living snow globe, where cobblestone streets, historic buildings, and twinkling lights feel like a fairy tale come to life. The air is crisp, the rooftops dusted in white, and every window glows with warmth. Stroll through the Petit-Champlain District, where garlands, lanterns, and holiday charm make it one of the most magical winter streets in the world. You'll hear the soft crunch of snow beneath your boots, pass by fire pits outside cafes, and maybe even catch a street performer playing carols near Place Royale. From skating under the stars at Place de Youville to sipping hot chocolate along Dufferin Terrace, winter in Quebec isn't something to escape, it's something to savor. So bundle up, slow down, and let the charm of Old Quebec in winter warm your heart. Quebec isn't just a feast for the eyes, it's a feast for the senses. Around every corner, you'll find cozy bistros, elegant dining rooms, and sidewalk cafes that blend French tradition with Quebecois flavor. Whether you're craving creamy poutine, duck confit, or a fresh-baked croissant, there's something here for every palate. Try a farm-to-table spot serving local cheeses and maple-glazed meats, or tuck into a centuries-old stone cellar for a romantic candlelit dinner. Many of these restaurants are housed in historic buildings, where stone walls and wooden beams set the mood and menus change with the seasons. And don't skip dessert. Quebec is famous for its maple treats, buttery pastries, and decadent chocolates. From casual bites to fine dining with a view of Château Frontenac, eating in Old Quebec is as memorable as walking its cobblestone streets. As we explore the streets surrounding the chateau, the mood shifts. Slightly more formal, a little grander. Here you'll find Rue Saint-Louis and Rue Sainte-Anne, lined with restaurants offering Quebec classics, poutine, cretons, tourtière, and warm maple desserts. The stonework is rich, the lampposts ornate. Horse-drawn carriages pass by, their bells ringing softly. This is where history meets hospitality, where the city's heart beats proudly and beautifully. Welcome to Dufferin Terrace, a broad wooden boardwalk perched above the cliffs, stretching out in front of the famous Fairmont le Château Frontenac. From here, the view is spectacular. Below you, the rooftops of Petit-Champlain. Ahead of you, the rolling waters of the St. Lawrence. And behind you, the most photographed hotel in the world. Pause here, feel the breeze, watch the street performers, hear the music drifting through the air. This terrace has been a gathering place for centuries, and it still feels alive today. Turn toward the Château Frontenac, the crown jewel of Quebec's skyline. Built in 1893 by the Canadian Pacific Railway, this grand hotel was designed to impress, and it still does. With its copper turrets, steep gables, and hilltop presence, it looks like a castle from a French fairy tale. World leaders, celebrities, and royalty have stayed here. Even Winston Churchill and Franklin Roosevelt met here during World War II. Even if you're not staying the night, the lobby and shops are open to visitors. Step inside for a peek, or enjoy the view from the plaza out front. walking with us through one of the most beautiful and historic cities in North America. If you enjoyed this tour, please give the video a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more walking journeys around the world. Until next time, merci et à bientôt from Quebec City.